I'm not proud of this, but when I found out I had stage 3 cancer, my first instinct wasn't fear. It was control. I've spent my entire life being the strong one, the provider, the woman who built an entire empire from the ground up, with nothing but grit and determination. So when the doctor gave me the diagnosis, I laid down one absolute rule. My son, Tim, would never know. Our relationship was already strained, to put it mildly. We were distant. Years of missed birthdays, unanswered calls, and unread messages had built a wall between us brick by brick. My work always came first, and he paid the price. Telling him I was sick now. It felt like emotional blackmail. A desperate, last-ditch effort to get his attention. It felt like admitting weakness, and that was something I just couldn't do. So, I did what I always do. I threw money at the problem. I hired a private nurse. Her name was Sarah. She was young, calm, and gentle, with a quiet patience that honestly drove me crazy at first. To me, she was just staff, another employee. I kept my walls up high, treating her with a cold professionalism. I wasn't looking for a friend. I was looking for a solution. But illness has a way of humbling you, of stripping away all the armor you've spent a lifetime building. The chemo was brutal. There were days I couldn't get out of bed, days I was so sick I couldn't even pretend to be in charge anymore. And through it all, Sarah was there. She wasn't just administering medication. She was witnessing my decline. She saw the moments of raw vulnerability I never let anyone else see. The flashes of regret that flickered in my eyes when I thought no one was looking. The profound, aching loneliness that settled in during the long, quiet nights. I never said the words, but she saw the guilt I carried over Tim. She saw the truth I was hiding from the world, and from myself. And without me even realizing it, she became something more than just a nurse. She became a bridge. Suddenly, Tim started visiting more often. At first, I was suspicious. He'd bring takeout from my favorite places, sit with me, and just talk. Not about anything important, really his work, a funny video he saw, a memory from his childhood. He started smiling in a way I hadn't seen since he was a little boy, a genuine, unguarded smile that reached his eyes. I was so starved for his affection that I didn't question it. I just soaked it in, convincing myself this was my own doing, that he was finally coming around. I let myself believe that maybe, just maybe, we could fix this. The thought was both terrifying and exhilarating. I was getting a second chance, and I was too proud and too desperate to ask why. Then came the night everything fell apart. I woke up in the middle of the night, struggling to breathe, a sharp pain radiating through my chest. It was a medical emergency. Sarah was there in an instant, all business, calling for an ambulance. In the chaos and panic, as the paramedics were stabilizing me, Tim burst into the room. His face was a mask of terror. And that's when the truth finally came out. He knew, he'd known for weeks, not from me, of course, from her, from Sarah. He had shown up unannounced one afternoon and found her crying. In the kitchen, after a particularly difficult day with me, he pressed her for the truth, and she gave it to him. My first reaction was pure, white-hot fury. I felt completely and utterly betrayed. Exposed. She had gone behind my back, broken my one rule. How dare she? This was my life, my illness, my secret to keep. I had built my walls so high for a reason, and she had just handed my son the sledgehammer to tear them all down. I wanted to fire her. I wanted to scream at her. But then I looked at my son. He was standing there by my bed, tears streaming down his face. He was scared, yes. He was angry, absolutely. But he was also hurt. Not because I was sick, he told me later. He was hurt because I didn't trust him enough to tell him myself. He thought I didn't believe he was strong enough to handle it, that I still saw him as a child who needed protecting. He felt I had shut him out of the most important fight of my life. That broke me in a way the cancer diagnosis never could. In that one moment, I saw it all so clearly. My obsession with control, my fear of vulnerability, it hadn't protected him. It had wounded him more deeply than the truth ever could have. All my strength had just been a form of cowardice. I was so afraid of looking weak that I had refused the love and support of the one person who mattered most. In trying to hold everything together, I had nearly lost the one thing worth holding onto. I forgave Sarah. In fact, I was grateful. The truth is, she didn't take anything from me. She gave me something back that I thought I had lost forever, my son. She gave him the chance to be a son, and she gave me the chance to finally be a mother, not just a provider. Against all odds, I survived. I made it through the treatments, the surgeries, the endless follow-ups. I healed, and through that process, so did my relationship with Tim. He was there for every appointment. Every milestone, every moment of fear, and every small victory. We talked, really talked, for the first time in years. We rebuilt our relationship, not on a foundation of strength and control, but on one of honesty and vulnerability. And I learned the most important lesson of my life. Strength isn't about building walls and staying silent through the pain. True strength is having the courage to let the walls crumble. It's about finally letting someone in, letting them see the messy, imperfect, and vulnerable parts of you. Strength is finally letting someone stay. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, please consider subscribing for more.